The Transformers, the movie. A movie so good, they needed to put two thes in the title to accurately portray its magnificence. But before I get into why I love this movie, let me give you some background to my history with it. It's the early 2000s, and I'm 3, maybe 4 years old. Back then, I'd cut my teeth on only the finest of televised entertainment. I'd seen the Doras and Diegos, I had already experienced the musical genius of the Wiggles, and I had blued all of the clues. Until one fateful day, my father felt I was ready to become a man, and he introduced me to something that would change my life forever. No longer was I a helpless child, chained to the safety and innocence of baby shows. I was given a one-way ticket to the front lines of Vietnam, and there was no going back. People who haven't seen this movie may be wondering why I'm acting like it's so intense. And there's a simple answer to that. It is intense. This isn't the kind of movie you watch on a Sunday night with the kids because you're looking for something family-friendly. This is an epic, ultra-violent joyride spread over multiple planets that takes boys and turns them into battle-hardened men. I can't even just keep talking about it anymore. Let's actually get into the movie. We start out on a planet full of robots, just doing the robot thing, you know, going to work, shopping, watching the kids. Wait, how are there robot children? If they're robot kids, do they just stay children forever? Are they made to be dumber than the rest of the robots, so they aren't just small versions of the other ones? Do they get rebuilt as adults after a certain period of time? Oh, the entire planet got destroyed, along with the robot kids. Guess we don't have to worry about that anymore. The important thing to take note of here is the giant planet-eating ball of death. His name is Unicron. Just remember him, he'll become important later. After that somber introduction, we get to actually see some Transformers. We later cut to a handful of Autobots on a ship, heading to Autobot City, when suddenly the Decepticons attack. Oh man, how are the Autobots gonna manage to win this one? They're totally outnumbered. Oh, yeah. You know, why have the good guys win when they can just be murdered? It's here that I'd like to bring up the first of many reasons that I think this movie is way better than any of the Michael Bay movies. Every Transformer that dies in the 1986 movie had a name and was a part of the TV show for years before they were killed. But in the Michael Bay movies, they resort to killing off thousands of unnamed characters, and when they do kill named Transformers, they're usually introduced in that same movie just to be killed off. The only examples I can think of that dispute this are Ironhide, Ratchet, and Starscream. Maybe? I don't know. There's probably more I'm forgetting, but the Bay movies are not worth doing research on. They are so bad. I didn't even finish the 5th one. To this day, I have not finished it. I started it, I bought a ticket, I went to see it, I could not finish it. Back to the good stuff. The movie cuts to Hot Rod and Daniel fishing for some reason. I don't know, don't worry about it. After an awesome 80s rock song, the two head up to Lookout Mountain. A ship begins to head towards Autobot City, but Hot Rod notices that there's an entire army of Decepticons inside. Who would have thought? We then get a 20-minute war scene where the Autobots are playing the defensive, locking themselves up within Autobot City. But their fort only stands for so long until the Decepticons bring out Devastator. Tears through the city like I tear through a bag of granola, and finally, the Decepticons win the battle. Never mind, here comes Optimus Prime. Optimus flies in, drops the Dinobots to beat Devastator, and knows he only has one more thing to do.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
He then begins plowing through Decepticons like they're nothing, until he finally gets to Megatron. The two fight for a little bit, but eventually both Megatron and Prime get mortally wounded. With their leader defeated, the Decepticons retreat, giving the Autobots some time to mourn Optimus, who later dies of his injuries. Reason number 2 that this movie is better than the Bay ones. The 1986 movie characters had actual personalities. All of the main characters had at least one defining personality trait that they showed throughout the whole movie. Hot Rod is reckless, Cup is old and experienced, Ultra Magnus tries to lead, but honestly he isn't that good at it. RC is a girl. In the Bay movies, they might show a hint of personality, but as soon as conflict arises, all the Transformers immediately become Decepticon murdering machines with no emotion at all. The only character to really show their uniqueness was Jazz, and he got torn in half. I feel like I've done enough scene-by-scene analysis for one video, so now I want to ask the big question. Why is the 1986 movie still the best version of the Transformers to this day? In my opinion, it's because of the characters. Like I said before, the Bay films strip every character of their uniqueness, leaving them all feeling like copies of each other. Do you remember what RC was like in Transformers 2? Did you even know RC was in Transformers 2? Exactly. I'm just hoping that the upcoming Bumblebee movie is half decent. It seems to have some nice character designs going for it, and John Cena is even in it, so what could go wrong?